Okay, we're recording now.
Okay, cool. Hey everyone, welcome to the September 8th edition of the Presto Technical Steering Committee meeting. Hope everyone had a great and awesome long weekend. So we have two items on the agenda today, and both are updates. So it may be a short meeting. We'll see whether people have questions. So the first item is about updates about the unification discussions going on, like the Presto DB and the Presto SQL unification discussions. And Brian Warner will give an update about that. And the second item is from Dipti around an update from the outreach committee. So Brian, do you want to start on the unification discussion update?
Sure. I apologize for the background noise here. I'm actually in the car driving. But I just wanted to give a quick update on where we are since it has been a little while since we've discussed this. There's not a whole lot of detail that I can give because things are still in flight, but I will say that things are very much in motion. I think the last time that we talked, we discussed a few different things, including what the overall plan might look like, and then there was some discussion as well about code sharing back and forth between the two different projects. At this point, really, what I can say is that I've had very productive discussions with everybody involved, and I appreciate all the insights and all the suggestions that have come in from all the different angles. We came in with originally a certain proposal, and based upon the discussions, we've received a significant amount of feedback and have modified it a bit and changed some of the assumptions. And I do think that in the end, what we're driving to, though, is something which will get us to the ultimate end goal, which is a merged community. One of the things I did as I was going through this process, working with the various folks who are involved, I did an analysis on the code base, and there are a substantial number of folks who are contributing to Presto DB, a substantial number of folks who are contributing to Presto SQL. And what we're seeing here at this point is that there's a really good sized community here, and they're roughly balanced with each other. Ultimately, I think what we'd really like to see is that everybody is able to work in the same place to be able to share ideas and to hopefully be able to share code. But the main thing really is, hopefully we'll be able to get everything in one place. One of the questions which came up, I've heard it actually both from Presto Foundation as well as from some folks in Starburst. The question was about sharing patches back and forth between the two different code bases. One of the things which has been a fairly recurring theme in the discussions has been, we know that there are differences between the two code bases, but we don't know exactly to what extent those differences are when it comes down to actual meaningful changes, as opposed to small things which are renaming of things or whatever. So one of the things which I would encourage as time goes on here would be to continue looking at places where there are trivial differences between the two, and maybe working to try and merge patches back and forth to try and harmonize the code bases as best as possible. I recognize that there's been some change over the last 18 months where some things may be optimized for some use cases, other things there may be connectors which work with one and not with the other. Being able to identify which is which would help greatly in figuring out just how far apart everything actually is. And our hope is that, assuming everything moves forward the way that we hope it will, that would be one of the first tasks that we'd figure out, would be how far apart are things actually, so that we have a better base to stand from here when figuring out what's it going to take to try and get to a merged community. So that's my update. As I mentioned, it's very much in flight. We are trying to not maybe announce anything until we have a full announcement put together here in terms of resolutions on the various different items that we've been working on. But again, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who's been involved. When the Linux Foundation was brought in here, we were brought in to be neutral and a third party effectively in the discussions. And I really do appreciate all of the feedback that we've been getting and how it's helped us shape this proposal. I really appreciate all the good faith effort moving forward on this as well. That's my update.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brian, and we really appreciate all the efforts you have put in. Thanks a lot for driving these discussions. So before moving into the next item, does anyone have any questions about the update to Brian? Okay, cool. So we can move to the second item. Dipti, can you provide an update from the outreach committee?
Sure. I have a couple of slides. Let me just bring those up. Give me a second. Let me know once you can see it.
Can see it, Dipti.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I can see it.
Okay. All right. So I combined a couple of them since we haven't talked in a few months. Typically, I update the board with updates that are happening. We're seeing really good progress on the virtual meetups. We have a program where we consistently have one meetup a month. And each meetup seems to be getting more than 100 plus attendees. Typically, it depends on the topic. Sometimes, we've gone up to 155 people, which is very, very good for a single meetup. July, we had Twitter present on their Presto story, as well as an end user Jamp on their ad tech use case with AWS EMR. August, we had a great session with the Apache Hoodie PMC member on the Presto hoodie connector integration, as well as an AWS engineer. And then we had Facebook and Aluxio present on low latency querying as well. And the last one, which was just Friday, was a really good session by Walmart presenting Presto at Walmart, as well as their approach to query federation across clouds, where they have added a connector to query multiple Presto clusters, so Presto cluster to Presto cluster across clouds. We're seeing the meetup grow. It's more than a 700 members strong at this point. So I would say it's grown about 500 people over the last 6 months, which is good progress. Always would like to see more. And so we'll continue as an outreach team, the really good sessions, new sessions, interesting sessions, different users, end users, as well as contributors presenting at the meetups. And if TSC has feedback on possible topics, agenda items, please do share them with me or anyone in the outreach committee. PrestoCon is coming up. We have been able to put together a really strong schedule, I think. At least we make it look, it looks good, obviously, with very strong brands presenting, various companies, obviously the founding members, premier members, as well as members of the community. We have an open source panel, which is around the Presto ecosystem with Pinot, Hoodie, Superset, and etc. And a lot of good sessions coming up. So a little more details on PrestoCon. It will be it's a virtual event. Great sponsorships so far. We just confirmed Intel last week. It'll be great to have them on. Women in Big Data is an event partner as well. One thing we've noticed is we need more diversity, and so I would encourage everybody to, if there are speakers in general at meetups for the conference, it would be great to have a lot more diversity within our speaker bench in general. The last one is on content. We have a good flow of blogs that are coming up, a lot of good ones that you see here. We have our YouTube channel published as well. And one thing of note is lower engagement on Slack, but there are other ways that the community is probably engaging, and we will find other ways of working with the community and engaging the community. So that's a quick update from me, folks. Any questions? All right. If not, one thing I did want to do is just introduce a couple of new faces. We have Dave Simon. So Dave Simon is Ahana co-founder and CTO, as well as Vivek is Ahana co-founder and principal software engineer. They will be joining the TSC and listening in and participating and engaging with the community. So wanted to make sure that everyone knew who the new faces and the names were. All right, back to you, Nezi.
Yeah, welcome David and Vivek. So thanks for the update, Dipti. So we are done with the agenda items. Is there anything else that anyone wants to bring up before we wrap up? Okay, so it was like a quick meeting. Thanks everyone for joining today. And thanks Dipti and Brian for the updates. And we will see each other in the next TSC. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nezi. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.